Yo, so I've watched the trailer for Persona 5 like 1,000 times now, and all I can really say is that I want it. So does Canipa, who's like one of my best anime friends in the whole world.
Yes, literally anime, I don't exist within the 3D world.
After thoroughly examining this trailer for days, I've decided to come up with a list of things that I want out of Persona 5. And I've beaten Persona 4 like 100 times, so I'm basically an expert on the matter. Demon Recruitment and Conversations. I know that Demon Recruitment is more of a mainline Shin Megami Tensei thing, but the first two Persona titles actually had demon conversations in them. You could attempt to get items or ask them nicely to leave. They took this mechanic out of Persona 3 because I guess they wanted to appeal to casuals.
Fast forward to the Persona 5 trailer. During this combat sequence, you'll notice that you're fighting demons, which is actually uncommon for the Persona series. Both Sandman and Pyrojack appear, which begs the question, how am I going to go about getting Persona powers?
Here's my theory. At the very end of the trailer, you can see Protag lighting himself on fire and slowly changing into what looks like a demon before it cuts. I'm led to believe that instead of carrying around a legion of Persona that you can invoke via shooting yourself in the head or crushing a tarot card, that you can instead absorb that demon's powers. So what I'd like to see is the ability to put your Pokemon skills to the test and wine and dine each demon into being one with the Protag.
Please don't make this weird, Austin.
Female protagonist. This one's kind of a no-brainer. It happened with the portable re-release of Persona 3, and that was the best move that Atlus could have made because honestly, she has more interesting dialogue options than Mr. Headshooty over here.
I was honestly a bit thrown off when Persona 4 Golden didn't include this option. I mean, hell, they already had the cross-dressing sequence. You could have just used that skin.
So with Persona 5, I'll be upfront. While our Protag is kinda cool looking, I'd love to see a female variant. Why? Because, I don't know, what if I want to date the boys?
Oh, also, considering that Persona protagonists are usually silent, I guess the choice of equal gender representation would be cool. I'd still play Femme Protag though.
Vita version.
Okay, I feel like this is also a no-brainer. There's absolutely no reason that a Vita version of Persona 5 shouldn't exist. It's coming out on PS4 and PS3, which means it could take a tiny bit more downgrading to be released on the Vita.
A game like Persona is kind of a perfect portable game, as we saw with Golden. It has such a pick up and put down nature, especially when you're dungeoning. Hell, I played Golden through 3 times on my Vita as opposed to just once on the PS2 original, simply because I didn't need to get situated. It honestly seems like a perfect opportunity for Sony to finally capitalize on their handheld. After all, Golden is one of the most successful and critically acclaimed titles for the Vita. Maybe they forgot it existed, or maybe, just maybe, we'll be seeing Persona 5 Platinum on the Vita too.
That wouldn't be so bad.
Open world exploration. Don't get mad, I'm not talking like Skyrim tier open world. I don't think I'd ever want that kind of world in my Persona.
But you know what would be cool? Getting rid of that quick travel menu that Inaba had from zone to zone and throwing the player into more of a Yakuza type map. One that feels busy and bustling with life. From the initial gameplay trailer, we've already seen how crowded things can be in the subway and even in the school.
But what you do is keep the age-old Persona tradition of not letting time pass until the player wishes. That way, we could really get lost inside of this fictional world without being restricted to a menu system. Yeah, let the player have the option of fast travel. That only makes sense for those who speedrun and the New Game Plus junkies. But for me, I'd love to get lost in the streets and explore the vibrant and beautiful world that's been presented so far. And maybe look at all the faceless businessmen. Naoto. If I've learned anything in the past 31 years, it's that Naoto is the best girl, hands down.
Best girl in everything, really.
And in my dreams, there's a chance that she's gonna be back in Persona 5. Let's talk about it.
Spoilers ahead about Naoto. Yeah. Do what you like, really.
In Naoto's social link, you deal with the supposed phantom thief. They've been stealing heirlooms from Naoto's family and she wants them back. You spend most of the second half of her story playing detective and trying to find all the pieces, only to realize that the phantom thief is really your grandfather.
And people are calling Persona 5's protagonist the Phantom Thief.
Oh, does that mean that Catherine and Vincent had a baby and then Persona 5's protag is Naoto's grandfather?
No, it doesn't.
But Persona Q has time travel.
That game isn't canon.
Maybe Persona 5 isn't canon.
No, shut up.
Listen, all I'm saying is that maybe, just maybe, Atlas is alluding to a possible Naoto cameo. Maybe a main character, although I doubt that as she'd be a bit older by the time Persona 5 takes place.
22 years old by then judging from past trends, so our obsession is totally fine.
Considering that the entire point of her social link was her grandfather trying to push her to get into detective work again, maybe she decided to embrace it and move to the big city Tokyo. Or because Yu is super neglecting.
The Persona livestream told us that the Persona 5 protagonist is a delinquent who was sent to a juvenile school. Since our theme seems to be crime and breaking the chains of society, I can only be led to the assumption that we might possibly see Naoto again.
And if not, I'll boycott it.
I love you.